on like fire, one society to another society. So that's culture, the changing attitude towards marriage, family, relationship. They don't want to get married, they don't want a family, they don't want stable relationship. I have two big questions in the context of Andhra Pradesh I want answer from you. The two questions I have put here: should we be worried about the fertility decline? And the second question is, should we panic? What will be the answer from you on the first question? Anybody? Should we be worried? Should we panic? Let's see. According to me, we should be worried. Okay? However, we should not panic. I will give reasons why we should be worried and not panic. Why worried? Because there is a lot of economic implication of this. But there are counters. I will talk about the counters also. There is a declining economic growth due to low productivity. If there are low number of people in the society, less number of hands. But there are counter arguments because the longevity has increased. Now people are living longer, healthier. So we can change the traditional working age of 15 to 60. We can change that in some societies, Japan, in Vietnam, in other places, they are changing that norm. Manual jobs now can be done by the technology, right? So we don't need as many human labor as we required earlier. So less number of hands may not be a big problem. Second, fiscal burden because on the government because of the increased state responsibility for social security and elderly care. Again, there's a counter argument. If people are working for longer time, then the burden will not increase as fast as the population goes down or the aging population goes up. Third, regional disparity. People talk about if there is a low population, low fertility, then regional disparity will increase. It's not the case for Andhra Pradesh. So far that data I have seen. People are talking about cultural shifts. For example, there are people coming from North India or other places as a labor here because there is no labor available here. So there will be a definite cultural shift in the state, and that's a worry for some of the people. It's a very valid worry. For example, in Sikkim, the tribal population is getting extinct and people from outside are filling that gap. Okay? It's a traditional are going away. But there are many examples where in India, places have become cosmopolitan. Look at Bombay, look at Kolkata. They have become more cosmopolitan where everybody is living there from different place. It is possible. Population may become unsustainable. Few years back, we were talking about high population pressure. We are now just talking about the opposite. We actually need a balance. But why I say that we don't need to panic? Why we say that we don't need to panic? Panicking and using coercive policies do not work. I give an example of Iran. They panicked, and what they did, they stopped all the family planning programs in the state, in the country. All the family planning program. For few years, the fertility has gone up little bit, but it has come down again. Without state support, people are managing their fertility. So even if you take the coercive measure, people are not going to listen because of the cultural shift. Okay? What works? Upholding the women's rights or people's rights and improving gender equality works for wonder. There are a lot of examples of Sweden, France, Hungary where this has really worked well. Andhra Pradesh's population growth rate has not gone ultra low, like Sikkim is 1.1. Anything below 1.5, we say ultra low. It has not gone that. And there will be at least 25 years before the population actually starts decreasing in Andhra Pradesh. So we have a time to act. And I'm sure we are already thinking about that. The TFR of 1.7 as per demography can be sustained with appropriate early policy and steps. I'm very happy to see Andhra Pradesh government is already taking or thinking about it and also begun working on it. And today's event is one of them. There are good global examples. I talked about Sweden, Hungary, France, Vietnam. All have been successful in stabilizing fertility. So Andhra Pradesh also can, right? What kind of policy focus will be Andhra Pradesh important for Andhra Pradesh? I would say let the Andhra Pradesh people decide that, not us. Not it is.
Not been changing. Please want to change the slide.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry. Okay. So what kind of policy focus? I would say that let the people of Andhra Pradesh decide that. We may have a management policy, but it is you all who will decide whether the policy is good for you or not. I'm happy to see that today's event starts with a public consultation in the large scale. I very briefly talk about three buckets of a suite of population management policies that may work. One bucket will be maintaining fertility at the current level, right, or increase it if possible. There are many policies that could be going under that. 2 minutes? Okay. Marriage policy, right-based policy, reproductive support policies, family planning policies. We can talk about improved population quality of life. We have to invest in adolescents, promote higher education, build skills, reduce early marriage, pregnancy, all these things. And finally, efficiently adapt to population aging. Okay? Adapt progressive retirement age, take care of elderly, many things can be done under that. I will end with something from the global example, very interesting example from Turkey. Do pronatal nurses work? People say give money, give this and that, but they really do work. So we have some data from Turkey. It was done in 2013, little old, but still only about a quarter or much. These questions were asked, what are the motivating factors? They have been given a set of motivating factors that will motivate them to have an additional child. Okay? And these are the results from there. Only about a quarter or much less number of respondents reported that providing any allowances or leaves would actually motivate them for additional children. The only thing they have been agreed to some extent, 27%, is better economic conditions for them. And even if we look at it by number of children they have, this is the exactly same for every number of children. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the insightful session. సంతాన సామర్థ్యం, ఫర్టిలిటీ తగ్గుతుంది అనే విషయం గురించి మనం వరి అవ్వాల్సింది ఉంది, ఆలోచించాల్సింది ఉంది, కానీ భయపడాల్సిన అవసరం అస్సలు లేదు అంటూ చాలా అద్భుతమైన సెషన్ తీసుకున్నారు. థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ రాజీవ్ సార్. And we move on to a topic that is equally important, harnessing the demographic dividend, youth, reproductive health and gender priorities. Our speaker for the second session is Dr. M. Prakashama, a distinguished expert in public health. She has more than 3 decades of experience in field of public health, maternal and child health. Over to you, ma'am, for the second session.
Thank you. ఆంధ్ర ప్రజలందరికీ నమస్కారం. తిరిగి నమస్కారం చెప్పండి, నేను చాలా దూరం నుండి వచ్చాను. I am very happy and thank you to the government representatives here for inviting me to this land which is very precious. It's the land of Buddhist teaching, Buddhist philosophy, as well as the land of quantum principles and quantum computing today. నాకు ఈ రెండిట్లో తేడా తెలియట్లేదు. బుద్ధిస్ట్ ఫిలాసఫీకి క్వాంటమ్ ప్రిన్సిపల్స్కి చాలా క్లోజ్ కనెక్షన్ ఉంది. బోత్ టీచ్ అబౌట్ ద ఇంటర్కనెక్టెడ్నెస్ ఆఫ్ రియాలిటీ ఆఫ్ ద యూనివర్స్, ఆఫ్ ద కాజ్ అండ్ ఎఫెక్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఈవెంట్స్. ఈ విధంగా చూస్తే టుడేస్ పాపులేషన్ discussion is a very, very important event, and I'm happy that I'm here. I would like to look at my personal involvement in this. Nenu ela ikkadiki vachano meeru naaku teliyadu. Most of the government officers today I don't know. I have left active service 20 years back. However, I have been a part of the population policy of the government of Andhra Pradesh, the undivided Andhra Pradesh. This is the document. Evarana chusara idi? Gurtunda evarikaina? This is the 1997 population document of the state of Andhra Pradesh, which came much before the government of India population policy in 2000. The state set the tone for population management 25 years back, almost 30 years back. I was part of the government at that time, very actively involved in public health, and I can recall all those days, anxious days. Chala anxious days undeyi. Population ela cheyali, ela manage cheyali, sterilization okate females e enduku avutunnaru, why can't we do something about the males? I have also been part of the government of India's policies for RCH2. I have witnessed ICPD reproductive rights challenges and changes, Beijing World Conference on Women, and though at the Bucharest conference I was still a young student, meeku evarikaina gurtundo ledo, though at least the demographers, you will remember Bucharest conference, where the entire developing world మీద ప్రెషర్ పెడుతుంది, మీ పాపులేషన్ ఎక్కువైపోతుంది, మీరు మా అనర్థానికి కారణం అవుతున్నారు, తగ్గించుకోండి మాల్థూజియన్ ప్రిన్సిపల్స్ ప్రకారం అని. అప్పుడు ద లోన్ వాయిస్, అండ్ వీ షుడ్ బి వెరీ ప్రౌడ్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్, వాజ్ ఇండియా. అట్ ద బుకరెస్ట్ కాన్ఫరెన్స్ 1974లో డెవలప్మెంట్ ఇస్ ద బెస్ట్ కాంట్రసెప్టివ్ అని అనౌన్స్ చేశారు, పెద్దగా గట్టిగా చెప్పారు. ఐ థింక్ దట్ ఈస్ సంథింగ్ వీ యాజ్ అ కంట్రీ sometimes have made very long reaching statements. However, adi oka statement laga migilipoyindi. Aa tarvata samvatsarame mana deshamlo emergency vachindi, forced sterilizations vachayi. That's a different story. Kani ippudu na idi entante AP policy appudu start ayinappudu Kerala like situation Andhra Pradesh lo తీసుకురావాలి అనే ప్రయత్నం తోటి ఈ డాక్యుమెంట్ తయారు చేశారు. దిస్ డాక్యుమెంట్ ఎందుకంటే మన పాపులేషన్ కూడా డిక్లైన్ కావాలి, మనం కేరళ లాగా ముందుకు పోవాలి అని. కానీ అప్పుడు కేరళకి మనకి పాపులేషన్ డేటాలో ఎక్కువ తేడా లేవు. We were not very different from Kerala in 1997, but we were very different from Kerala in terms of literacy, age at marriage for girls. చాలా తేడాలు ఉన్నాయి ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్కి కేరళకి. అందులో ఎక్కువ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్స్ చేయకుండా పాపులేషన్ మీద ఎక్కువ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ చేయటం వలన ద డిక్లైన్ ఇన్ సమ్ ఎక్స్టెంట్ హ్యాపెండ్. 2001 సెన్సస్ తర్వాత అది డేటా రిలీజ్ అయిన తర్వాత వాట్ హ్యాపెండ్ ఇస్ there was a panic in the whole country, especially government of India. ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో ఎలా డిక్లైన్ అయింది, బీహార్, రాజస్థాన్, మధ్యప్రదేశ్లో ఏం చేయాలి అని. So there was a huge meeting in government of India with all the secretaries and demographers and public health people saying, how do we take the Andhra model to Bihar? Some of us at that time, we said, look, Andhra context is very different from Bihar context. Ee model meer akkada pedite aa context ledu. Andhra context was so different. So oka study cheddamu ani. అప్పుడు డెమోగ్రఫిక్ ట్రాన్సిషన్ ఇన్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ ఎలా జరిగింది, వాట్ ఆర్ ద డిటర్మినెంట్స్, వాట్ ఆర్ ద ఓన్లీ ద డిటర్మినెంట్స్ అడిగారు. లీలా ఇద్దరం కలిసి ఈ స్టడీ చేసాం ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్లో 2004 5లో చేశారు. Determinants of decline in Andhra Pradesh అడిగారు, but we decided we will also do the consequences of the decline. So my study పేరు demographic decline in Andhra, transition in Andhra Pradesh. The determinants and the consequences. ఇప్పుడు నేను చాలా 1 minute లో ఆ కాన్సిక్వెన్సెస్ ఏంటో చెప్తాను. మా స్టడీలో వచ్చింది, ఇది 25 years బ్యాక్ వచ్చిన రిజల్ట్స్, 2004 లో, అండ్ దట్ మీన్స్ డేటా అంతకుముందు 3 years డేటా ఉంటుంది. చేంజెస్ family size, structure, relations. That was the major consequence which women expressed. In transition wala, there is a change in family size, structure and relations, rising aspirations about children and demand of children, complying with the demands of children, old age people and care of old age, their choice, quality of care, contraception choice not there, reproductive health problems as a consequence of the transition, mainly hysterectomies, and this was in 2004, and negligible male participation in family care. These were the consequences. Anxiety, population policies formulated and implemented with a Zionistic zeal to push forward will sometimes backfire, and therefore I am here to caution the government, not to say no, but to caution. Please have much more deliberation, a lot more consultations, involve the people who are going to be part of it. If పిల్లల్ని కనేవాళ్ళు ఆడవాళ్ళైతే ఆ ఆడవాళ్ళని చాలా తీసుకొని ఇన్వాల్వ్ చేసి పాలసీ డ్రాఫ్ట్ చేయండి అని నేను రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను. హ్యూమన్ రిసోర్స్ బిల్డింగ్ రైట్ ఫ్రమ్ ద చైల్డ్ ఇస్ ద మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ టుడే when we are doing the population. My third suggestion, kind of humble suggestion, is when you use the word management, it is not a very positive word. Population management is not a positive word. It means I know and I'll manage you. But this state has a legacy of participation, huge participation, and 95 నుండి నేను విట్నెస్ దానికి, ఆ పార్టిసిపేషన్ కి. So state has so many legacies which are nowhere else in the country, and those legacies should be used and built upon. Women's empowerment is one legacy. Much before any other state took up these, Andhra Pradesh took up Dwakra groups, women's thrift and credit societies, women's participation. Mahila Samakya was most active in Andhra Pradesh compared to other states. So this women's participation, women's political participation after the 73rd, 74th amendments, and the voice of women in local bodies, which is the legacy of this state, అది చాలా స్ట్రాంగ్ పాయింట్, అది వాడాలి అని నేను రిక్వెస్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను. అదే టైంలో పాపులేషన్ పాలసీ వచ్చినప్పుడే గవర్నమెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ దెన్, అండ్ నేను అప్పుడు విట్నెస్ని, నేను ఉన్నానప్పుడు, విమెన్స్ పాలసీ అని ఒకటి చేయాలని ప్రయత్నం చేశారు, బట్ దట్ వాస్ కెప్ట్ అసైడ్. లెట్ మీ జస్ట్ షో యూ. Okay. Why I'm showing you this is, ఇది చాలా మంది దగ్గర ఉండదు, విమెన్స్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ దగ్గర కూడా ఉండకపోవచ్చు. This was the embryo, it was the embryo of a women's policy in Andhra Pradesh. We were all excited at that time, 95, 96, saying ఒక women's policy వస్తుంది స్టేట్ కి అని. నేను నా ఎంతూజియాజంతో, అప్పుడు కొంచెం యంగర్ ఉన్నానులే, గ్రే హెయిర్ లేవు, అప్పుడు నేను నా ఫ్రెండ్స్ ఢిల్లీలో వాళ్ళని వీళ్ళని, మీరు రండి ప్లీజ్ కమ్ టు హైదరాబాద్, ఆర్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఈస్ మేకింగ్ అ విమెన్స్ పాలసీ అని 4-5 ఫ్రెండ్స్ని కూడా ఇన్వైట్ చేశాను యాజ్ అ గెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ గవర్నమెంట్. అండ్ బట్ అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ మీరు చూస్తున్నారు కదా, దీనికి తేడా, ఇది ఎలా ఉంది, ఇది ఎలా ఉంది. Policy did not take off. Activities did take off. The women's department did a lot of work, and for that I have a lot of old documents and old things to share. We were part of the Vision 2020, 95, 96, 97, high activism. So these are legacies of the state. People's participation is a legacy of the state. And the document, మీ దగ్గర ఉందా ఇప్పుడు? I don't know whether you have, but this is the original, the Vision 2020, which we felt very good about at that time. Regularly, the government brought about something called Women Power Ani documents, just showcasing women who have excelled in this field or that field. Okay, she's behind me, so I will go very quickly to my actually talking about engaging youth and reproductive health. ఈ రెండిటి మీదనే నా ఫోకస్ అంతా. ఫస్ట్ ఇస్ ఎంగేజింగ్ యూత్. ఐ ఫీల్ రీప్రొడక్టివ్ హెల్త్ కంటే కూడా ఎక్కువ ప్రాధాన్యత ఇవ్వాల్సింది టుడే ఇస్ చైల్డ్. I divide the child into two sections. One is children from birth to late adolescence, 25, even 30, because they are so busy with education, job search, career development, marital life, settling down. So appat varaku we can't expect them to contribute, but it's our duty to contribute to their growth. So even today, child care, child nutrition, child stunted growth, malnutrition rates are very, very high. Breastfeeding is still low. Junk food, complementary feeding is still a major problem in this country and especially in this state. So I want to distinct programs for children and adolescents, nurturing them and generating their interest. వాళ్ళ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఇప్పుడు జనరేట్ చేస్తే ఇంకా 20 years తర్వాత వాళ్ళు చాలా పాజిటివ్ రోల్ ప్లే చేయగలరు. School age children, I am seeing that the government is taking up school education as very high priority. కానీ school education should not be subject matter oriented. వాళ్ళకి హ్యాబిట్స్ ఇన్కల్కేట్ చేయాలి, healthy habits. Even today urination, public urination is a problem for children, for men, for everybody. So how can we inculcate healthy habits, progressive habits, nature and caring for animals and wildlife and environment when they are children, so that they will take up these later. I will not go into details because I can see someone standing behind me, but I'll go into the second major thing for me from today is reproductive health. Childbearing is the concern of women. The man may contribute the sperm, but the woman, the ovum has to be fertilized and she has to conceive, bathe the child and care for the child and breastfeed the child. Women's involvement and women's childbearing friendliness is the most important today in the state. I know the state is introducing something called a midwifery project today, but if you want natural birthing, cesarean is one of the consequences of the last population policy and development. We have to deal with that first. I have a small badge on my chest here. I don't know if you can see it. This is Natural Childbirth Ambassador. So making birth positive and friendly for women, making it something to look forward to, not something to shy away from. Rajiv has already spoken about the desired family size. There are women today who want children and cannot have children. Career development versus reproductive choices. This is a very major concern today and we need to look at that. This is about the cesarean rate and the caring for pregnant women and all, but I have another reproductive concern which is a major thing. Almost every woman faces reproductive, 98% women, they face reproductive problems. But these are not the major concerns and treatment options in the public health system today. They are sidelined, they are marginalized care areas. So I think that is something you need to do for the people. Reproductive infections. Then infertility. Rajiv has already mentioned, I will not go into details, but infertility is a major concern in Andhra Pradesh. It is a major concern. And women who are not able to produce the child they want to produce are under great stress, mental health issues. There are no care centers for these women. IVF centers merely deal with the technical things and the commercial aspects, not so much with the counseling and couple caring. No such things are there. So I urge the government to look at that. Then I also request about adoption facilities. Adoption facilities, services, programs should be made much more flexible. There are children out there, children who need parents, children who need a family. But the rigid policies and the paperwork required does not make. Of course there are other things like the bloodline bias and all, ivanni kuda unnayi, ma pillalu maake puttali, ma raktam panchukoni ani unnayi. But there are ways in which outlook can be broadened. When I adopted my daughter in 1994, the situation was very different, but it was not easy. I'm a single woman, and to have single women, single men, family definition మార్చుకోవాలి మనం. ఇంకొక 20 years లో ఇప్పుడున్న ఫ్యామిలీ డెఫినేషన్ ఉండదు. 1 man, 1 woman, 1, 2 children ఫ్యామిలీ కాదు. ఇంకా ముందు పోయేసరికి 1 woman ఫ్యామిలీ, 1 man ఫ్యామిలీ, man ఫ్యామిలీ, woman ఫ్యామిలీస్ కూడా ఉంటాయి. నాన్ మ్యారిటల్ అడాప్షన్ కూడా ప్రమోట్ చేయాలి. ఈ డెమోగ్రఫిక్ డివిడెండ్ని ఎలా వాడాలి అని అంటే ఐ యూజ్డ్ ఇట్ ఫార్ సోషల్ వెల్ఫేర్ అండ్ ఓల్డ్ ఏజ్ కేర్, బట్ ఐ విల్ నాట్ గో ఇన్ టు దట్ టుడే, బట్ దట్స్ అ హై ప్రయారిటీ ఫర్ మీ. I'm speaking on this next month somewhere else, but I will stop now because I'm worried that I will be asked to stop. But I'm going to give some documents to the Women and Child Welfare Department on adolescent sexual health. Ee roju kuda even the highest schools don't speak openly about sex and sexual health to children. They don't have mixed boys girls discussions. We did this about 25 years back. I'm going to present this to the Women and Child Welfare Department. And I will present this book, the Asha book, Women Power book. This is a really women power book in health, to the health department. Please do something about this. Use your women as your resource. They are the best ones to change anything you want to change. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. That was an amazing session. Now moving on to the third, on population management, policies, practices and pathways for Andhra Pradesh. We are happy to welcome Dr. KVR Subramaniam, sir. Over to you.
బాగుందా? ఓకే చూడండి. సో అందరికీ నమస్కారం. Dignitaries on the dais, my demographic colleagues, all of you, very good morning. Okay. So, first of all, a huge congratulations to the team of planning department and other bureaucrats who are helping in this very important shift in population policy. Andhra Pradesh lo time relevant antaru. Time prakaram edaina pani cheyakapothe tarvata nashtapotam. Atla kaakunda mundugane melkoni ఒక చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఛాలెంజింగ్ వర్క్